If I write a sentence, am I an author? If I cook myself a meal, am I a chef? If I play Roblox, am I a predator? If I'm born here in the US by immigrant parents, am I Mexican? Hello, I'm Esmeralda, part of the Immigration Defense Podcast. I'm here to discuss by what is happening currently in the US is very concerning. President Donald Trump, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and Vice President J.D. Vance are sending ICE agents to very populated areas known for having Mexican immigrants, such as San Diego, San Jose, LA, Richmond, and Texas. Now, you may be saying, why do you care? You look white, you should be American, right? Well, what I have to say is, I am Mexican American. My parents are Mexican immigrants. My parents came in the US at a very young age. They came here to be financially stable enough to support their families back in Mexico and to support themselves here. This is very concerning to me because since my whole family are Mexican immigrants and I am a citizen here, if they do get caught by ICE, where am I going to be? I'm going to be here alone. If I go to Mexico with my family, we have to work just as hard to financially stable ourselves there. And this is a common case with other Mexican immigrant families here in the US. If they go back, they will be threatened, killed, or be in poverty again because the situation there is not good enough. They came here in the US to have a better life. And Donald Trump is trying to ruin that peace for many families, including mine. These Mexican immigrants that do live in the US are not criminals. Most of them are just regular people trying to support themselves, their families here, and maybe in Mexico. The main target that President Trump, alongside his hooligans or goons, are trying to deport the innocent ones rather than the criminals. When he ran for election, he promised to send back the criminals, but instead he's mainly targeting the innocent Mexican immigrants. We are spreading this word because knowing that Donald Trump and his partners are trying to send back or deport Mexican immigrants, are deporting innocent Mexican immigrants, these families are living in constant fear and paranoia to the point where they're not even sending their students back to school or going to groceries. We would like to create an environment where Mexican immigrants can live in the US without fear alongside other immigrants. My other podcasters will discuss more in their sections. This is Esmeralda signing out.
I have a friend who almost got deported, and then she talks about so my friend went to this facility, and then she's kind of scared, and then after they do something like a procedure, she called me, and then she was crying. She was like, Hillary, I'm kind of nervous because I think I'm gonna get deported because I don't have much paper. And then we hang out after that. Plus she talks about Mexican culture, like how they cook their food, how they cook their tacos or something. And she talks about how holidays works, and then the dates importance like that. And then she talks about the thing she wanna do culture dance or something. And then after that she and then her mom went to this facility again to check, and then the eyes thingy. So the eyes went to their home, and then they're asking some question, and then the one, like I think this officer, the one officer drugged her mom without permission, and then her mom was crying. Yeah, and then she called me, and then I went to her house to get some help, and then because I have a family like who's in, like she's a lawyer, and then yeah, and then that's it. It just goes to show how cruel ICE can be with their deportation, which is dehumanizing.
Mexican immigrants. We have heard about this group before. We have heard about ICE as well and how it's affecting Mexican immigrants. As a Mexican immigrant, well, Mexican American child of two Mexican immigrant parents, I feel like this is bad because the issue to me is getting worse. It affects me because Mexican immigrants could be like gone in a quick swish, like they could go away super fast. And ICE has been affecting a lot of people by that immigrants can't even go outside no more because it's bad. So they get attacked by no reason. They get accused of things that's not true. They get racist conversations due to their color and how they talk. They also have bad reputation where a lot of people might think that they are criminals, but not all of them are, just because of our color or how we style or how we cook or how we talk. ICE is also a big problem because they mostly attack a lot of people, innocent people mostly. When you go outside or when you go see a video on social media, you will see ICE attacking innocent people, like an innocent mother or a family just going grocery shopping. You just see them getting attacked due to ICE. Mostly now ICE takes people due to their color now. So if you're brown, then you get attacked. Apparently, if you look Mexican, you get attacked. So they're going through color, and they're pretty much racist because you don't really see that many people, like other people, getting attacked. It's only due to their color. Or if they speak Spanish, it's bad now.
So, despite the fact that all Mexican immigrants are affected by ICE and stuff like that, it is worthy to note that there is an extreme amount of white supremacy in this type of behavior. Because look, white supremacy is basically a set of ideologies in society that basically allows white people to have dominance and stuff like that. And obviously, all Mexicans, they're in a variety of shades. And there's a lot of white Mexicans, there's a lot of brown Mexicans, there's even black Mexicans, okay? But white Mexicans, they get privileges that no other Mexicans have. They don't get accused of being an immigrant as much as brown Mexicans do. They're less likely to be accused of crimes, and it's just stuff like that. Okay, and I'm gonna give you guys an example. Go ahead, Steph. So, this is me and my friend. Okay, we're both Mexicans from the same state, from the same everything, Jalisco. Okay, now if you couldn't tell, I'm brown and she's white. So growing up, I faced a lot of discrimination, such as like being called racist names because of my skin color. I've been accused of shoplifting, and like that's never happened to any white Mexican that I know. And just in general, there's a lot of mean things imposed on me because I am a Mexican of darker shade. And her, this has never happened to her before. And there's one obvious thing about us two that separates us, and that's our skin color. And so skin color has a lot to do with that because, like, girl, you're white, like you got advantages and stuff. But despite the fact that her and I are both US citizens, we're still Mexicans, and people don't know whether or not we're a Mexican immigrant or a US citizen just by looking at us. So it literally applies to any Mexican immigrant or not. So because of their white supremacy, this gives them like a big ego boost, and they think that they can get away with a lot of stuff that's or not. And like they acknowledge that they have this privilege. And an example is that me and my friend right here, there was this one time that we were at Dollar Tree together, and she made me hold up a bag of cotton and pose and take a picture of it. And y'all can tell that I'm not black, but it's the fact that white Mexicans, they have this like superiority complex that makes them think that they can get away with putting other people down of different shades. And it was not okay, but it was 2 years ago, and she's learned from that. But yeah.
Okay, white supremacy not only affects them, but their culture. Dia de los Muertos is one of the big events Mexican immigrants celebrate. Dia de los Muertos is a way to give offerings to the dead and to connect with lost loved ones. White supremacy not only affects them, but their culture. Events like Dia de los Muertos and quinceañeras are affected by white supremacy. Dia de los Muertos in America, white people call it Mexican Halloween, and they commercialize every part of it. For quinceañeras in America, they call it Sweet 16. They try to be similar to Mexican culture. For Dia de los Muertos, it's a way to connect with lost loved ones, and it's not just about being similar to Halloween. This is a way to connect with the dead, and it brings peace to the ones who celebrate it. Not only do white people hate on Mexican culture, they try to copy everything that they do. For quinceañeras, it's a celebration where girls celebrate their transition into adulthood, and American people just copy it and call it Sweet 16. Not only do white people belittle Dia de los Muertos, they also make it minimalistic. It's ofrendas are supposed to be colorful with marigolds and pictures and ofrendas, but white people, they just make it white, beige, and bland, and that just further harms Mexican culture. Mexican immigrants have to deal with assimilation. They try to fit in to American culture so they won't get bullied, so they won't feel like harassed or anything. When they assimilate, it also pushes their own culture away. For example, the movie Coco. It's about Dia de los Muertos, but a big part of the movie Coco is that, like, around halfway through the movie, there's like an immigration process to get into the land of the dead, and that just projects like white supremacy onto Mexican immigrant culture, and it just belittles them. But despite this, Mexican immigrants do show a lot of resilience by connecting with family back in their home country. So On to the next person.
So, when I came here in Richmond High, I didn't know that there was Internationals Academy because it was literally separated from the main building. And the only times I ever saw students from the Internationals Academy was in the elective classes. And something else I noticed in my classes, that whenever I had classmates who were from the International Academy or couldn't speak English at all, like nobody would work with them because they felt like students felt like they wouldn't be able to do the work right, and felt like it was too much of a hassle to help them. And honestly, like, instead of letting them struggle, we need to help them, because we want what's called, just as we want to succeed, they want to succeed as well. And it feels similar to how them not being able to speak English. It's similar to one of my experiences where I've been called a no sabo kid for not being able to speak Spanish properly. And we need to educate people that it's not okay to sub-oppress or oppress other students because of their lack of like English fluency. And it's honestly sad how people don't know about this situation of Mexican immigration as well. Because I was telling one of my friends that because they had asked that, like, why don't Mexican immigrants just get papers? And I told her it's not that easy. The process, it could take up to years. And I was glad that I was able to educate her, but it was sad that she didn't know about that kind of issue. By educating everyone else, we can open their eyes to this oppression that nobody else realizes. Yes. Okay. And so we need to fight against this oppression, not just for us, but for them as well. Because what we want liberation for ourselves, and we should be fighting for their liberation as well. And we can do that by welcoming them and fighting with them. Like in our school, a way that we can liberate them, or not liberate them, a way that we can welcome them is putting up poster flyers in the Internationals Academy. Because if you haven't noticed, there are barely any posters of any clubs in the Internationals Academy. And it's pretty messed up that we don't try to include them, and they're just in their own group and we're in our own groups. Like, we should be working together to fight against this oppression and liberate each other, help each other liberate others against all this oppression. Remember, guys, no one is legal on stolen land.